All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. As always, I'm your host, Adam Smith, with Just the Tips Coaching. And I've actually been looking forward to this episode for quite some time. This is a repeat guest, a former coaching client, an amazing colleague and educator, a good friend, and I don't know what other nice things I could possibly say because we're going to refrain from talking about how old he is, those kinds of things. But welcome back to the show, David Ryder. Hi,
Oh
David.
man, I'm blushing like nobody's business. Such nice
Oh,
things to
that I
say.
have. I like you.
I
I
so
have
I
nice
just
things to say.
discovered, so this is going to be the thing. I just discovered that the tickets that I bought to come up for Denver and I had to cancel that last trip are apparently sitting on my Southwest Airlines thing to use. So the question
Oh,
is who's going to use them first, me or Rita? Because she's
oh,
saying Austin, I'm saying Denver. We'll see who wins.
those. Well, both great towns to visit. I've been in both with you.
Yes, yes, we have.
So I am well aware of what, and actually, oddly enough, I've lived in both.
That's right, you
Yeah,
have.
there was a time, God, I don't know, 30 years ago that I lived in Austin for your great, great town. No
Yes,
question.
yes.
And so's Denver. Obviously, I've got nothing bad to say, but I prefer the desert,
Yeah.
including the high desert.
Mhm.
Starting to get onto a good time here to go to Phoenix too.
Oh, we're sleeping with the doors open.
Well, I'm
It's
doing
just
that.
gorgeous outside.
You know,
Well, you
last
could
night
do
I
it
was.
sooner.
Yeah, I'll be closing the doors at night sooner than you will for sure. And actually, I can't remember if it was last night or tonight, but we've had a frost warning, and I think we have a freeze warning. So winter's not here, but it's in the mail.
Oh yeah, no, it's we are entering the prime time of season, the time
Yeah,
that people pay a lot of money to come to Phoenix, Arizona.
yeah. Phoenix in the fall is pretty spectacular stuff,
Yep,
no
yep, yep.
question. All right, so you and I are. Well, God, I mean, we've been friends for years and years and have had conversations ranging on every particular topic from mortgages to personal life to aging parents to, I mean, just on
Mhm.
and on and on. But there were a couple of things that we got to talk about before we went live this morning that I thought were really interesting. And I should probably put out to the audience now just so that they know. One of the things that we had talked about briefly was HECM's reverse mortgages, home equity
Mhm.
conversion mortgages. And we do quite a bit of them. In fact, while we were just going live, I saw a call coming in on my phone from a HECM client that I'm working on right now. Um, and obviously, my team will deal with that. The voicemail will eventually go to them. But you were the one who trained me on how to do them. I mean, it took a long time. We don't, live next door to each other or office down the
Mhm.
hall or anything like that. So it was catch as catch can. It took a couple of years, but what an amazing product. And I
Yes.
know that there was all of this negative connotation that surrounded it in the 70s and 80s and even into the 90s, where there were unlicensed people writing them and a lot of financial planners writing them so that people could get money in order to invest and they could make money, and they were charging exorbitant fees on these loans and so on and so forth, and this gross misnomer about the bank taking your house when you die and those kinds of things. Actually, you and I had probably talked at one time, and I'll see if I can't find this particular data. And we worked on a lot of this when you were a coaching client.
Mhm.
But I've been doing some resource work, some source work for Blair Brody.
Mhm.
Wonderful woman, amazing author. Just did one on the differences between HELOCs and HECMs for her.
Mhm.
And she's working on getting that article published. But some of the questions were like, why is it a good idea? Who does this fit? And there were so many more opportunities, I guess,
Mhm.
or subsets of people where this would make a significant benefit for them than I had
Mhm.
even really realized. It really caused me to stop and think, get back to why we do what we do, and how many different segments of people, whether it's people still having to work in their retirement years or people who are trying to shelter housing for their surviving spouse in the future.
Mm-hmm.
There were just so many different things that came to mind as far as where this is of benefit, that I was really, really glad that I had taken the time to learn how to do them and to do them properly and so on and so forth. Because, boy, talk about a needed product, especially with a aging, large boomer population, that it really kind of blew my mind when I stopped and slowed down and thought about, more about the why than the how. I mean,
And take away
how
the
to do that.
judgment of it, because we're told to invest in our future. We're told to be prepared for retirement. We're told to that nothing's guaranteed. We all, if you take any survey in America, we all want to age in place. The greatest joy I've gotten in the last 12 months is I was able to accompany my father through his final journey, and he was able to pass in his house, surrounded by family, as I like to say, cigar in one hand, cocktail in the other. But it was his dream to pass that way.
That would be how your dad would go out. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
A cigar and cocktail.
It
Absolutely.
was wonderful. The guy got more than he deserved, but the reverse mortgage made it possible.
Yeah.
Because if we had been spending money to make a house payment, or even if the house had been free and clear, we wouldn't have had the money to bring in the home care, to bring in the necessary to get the medical equipment, all those things. We're told to prepare for retirement, and yet the moment someone says reverse mortgage, it's like,
Isn't that wild?
yeah.
I mean, I get it. It was done so poorly for so long that the connotation, it's earned. The
Mm-hmm.
reputation that home equity conversion mortgages have was well earned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, every governing body in the mortgage space steps in, and that includes the CFPB, that includes AARP,
Mm-hmm.
and there are so many regulatory bodies now involved in reverse mortgages that it's become the cleanest regulated mortgage product on the planet.
It is the most heavily regulated. It's one of the only products that you're required to, no matter what, talk to a third party who can tell if you or I are lying.
That's true. Yep.
That
Yep.
that alone is something that's unique to the reverse mortgage process. The only other place that takes place, and even then not as in depth, is on a first time home buyer.
And
So
it's not 100%.
right.
Yep. Not
Yeah.
all of them have to do it.
Hmm.
Every reverse mortgage borrower has to do it.
Yes.
Yep.
And
And
the
you have to be able
parties
to
affected.
prove that you did it.
Yeah. And the parties affected. So, your spouse, the
Yeah.
people on the title of the house, if you have a
Yeah.
conservatorship, it is very hard to not, well, you can still take advantage of people, but it is a very well regulated product that with the right person, because I think that's the other key. You mentioned that, we spent a lot of time going through the reverse mortgage. And if you remember, one of my first criterias was how to treat the customer, how to use this for the benefit of the customer, and not just solely, we get paid well on it, don't get me wrong, but knowing how we get paid and knowing how it hurts the customer and finding that fine line, I think, is critical.
Yeah. And there are a few obvious points. What their current financial status is, were they able to put long-term care into place, those kinds
Hmm.
of things. Um, but I think the biggest one that really helps me understand it is, how permanent is this loan going to be?
Yes.
Because this is not a band-aid. This is not something where, I mean, I've got a client right now. The house is in absolute disrepair. They want to move out of state.
Hmm.
And when I say disrepair, I mean like the foundation's caving into the basement.
Mm.
Okay. So there really isn't a solution for them to tap into the equity they currently have, and it's a lot, and get those repairs done, all in the same product, with being able to take enough money to put down on a house out of state.
Hmm.
Like, well, bridge loans are great. We do a ton of them, but you're not taking enough cash out to do the repairs because you want to put it down on the new house. And a bridge lender isn't really keen on the fact that this house has foundation problems.
Hmm.
Okay. And a 203K loan isn't going to provide you cash in pocket to put down on another house. That's counterproductive, counterintuitive to what the 203K is. So we're going to do them side by side, or back to back, I guess I should say. And that's not something you can do with a HECM.
Right.
You can't put this loan in place for a year or even two. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously we've seen, thank you, by the way, because the timing was good. Now we've started to see some HECM to HECM refinances. Interest rates are down quite a bit from their peak, that kind of thing. But yeah, if you're not planning on, if you as a loan originator can't see the long game where this is a loan that's going to benefit them in 3, 5, 8, 10, 12 years, then that's really the biggest go, no go in my mind. What does this scenario look like for them in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
People by nature are not good at projecting. You know, we all know. Yep. So I feel like one of our jobs is to help them project 5 years from now. Hey, those stairs, you're 75, no problem. 80, 85? Hell, my father didn't want to live, he didn't expect to live to be 91. What happens? How are you going to get around the house?
I don't want to go up and down the stairs now.
Right, and you have a little thing that goes up and down, so it should be easy for you.
No, that's not true. It is gone.
Okay.
And I will say this, that was part of what went on. And for those of you that don't know me all that well or my history, there was a period where my in-laws, my mother-in-law and stepfather-in-law lived with us. And we actually purchased this home for those purposes and then had a chairlift, using those funds put into the house coming from the basement up to the main level. It really didn't get used all that much. My youngest loved putting the cats on it and running them up and down the stairs by remote control. But yeah, there's a really good example. A lot of people will use proceeds from a HECM, and God, now we're just having a whole episode about HECMs, but consumers will use proceeds from a HECM to make their home ADA compliant, to do things like elevators and stair lifts, chairlifts, those kinds of things, for in-home care. And that was really the motivation here, is that I couldn't believe what the retirement home cost.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
I think that memory care facility was like 10 grand a month for her.
Yes.
That's Looney Toony.
Yes.
Right. And I think when they were living together, and it was just a little apartment, basically. There was a living room and a kitchenette and a bedroom. I want to say that was like 11 or 12 grand a month for the two of them, and that was getting off cheap. Wild stuff.
Well,
so yeah, the in-home care
don't have, yeah. Well, there's relatives that can help. You can bring someone. Just paying, and you're comfortable. You know where the grocery store is. You know where. As you know, because of my family situation, I'm always thinking of that elusive retirement. And we selected our home, and now my wife has set up where Instacart delivers all our food.
Totally.
She can take a lift at any place that she wants to go.
Yep.
We've automated our house to make it so we can age in place easily. When we came on, we were talking about the famous puck and, telling turn on, turn off, and, the AI that's now in there. All these things are done in place so you can age in place with grace and dignity, which is ultimately what my motivation is for doing any mortgage.
That lamp behind you, is that on a clapper?
No.
All right. I had to throw in an old man joke there somewhere. Yeah. If you were wearing your headphones, if we were on a speaker, maybe I could turn your lamp on and off. All right. So let me ask you this, because the other thing we really did talk about before we went live was AI. And what we're doing. And you mentioned, I'm sure you're using, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got Gemini open on my computer all the time. I've pretty much foregone every voice activated thing when it comes to my cell phone for Gemini, those kinds of things. And I know that the majority of our listeners, viewers and listeners, are probably going to be ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a very heavy Google integration with just about everything I do. A lot of Google Nest products, those kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things, from cameras and lights to garage doors and door locks and on and on. So yeah, there's a lot of that, but there's got to be some. If you're not already there, you've got to have some AI into mortgage integration when it comes to being a loan originator.
Oh yeah.
You've undoubtedly given some thought to where we're able to integrate as a HECM originator.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, so I'm going to do a couple of things as a transition for the consumer. One of my concerns is my wife has gotten addicted to YouTube. It's
she and
that's
Asher should hang out.
yeah, oh, because as we know, YouTube is a cesspool of the internet for any and every conspiracy theory.
Oh, Lord.
So,
Okay, so what rabbit holes is Rita going down then?
well, fortunately, most of the time it's the abandoned houses, and she's okay with that. And occasionally she'll tell me something like the Louvre got broken into, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it hasn't. Oh, and yes, it has.
Yes,
So,
it had.
yes, it has. But being concerned about this, we created a little gem in Gemini that just says, go back, you're a fact checker.
Nice.
Based off of
Okay.
this link, check it out and see if this is true or not true. And thinking of our Heckham people, we can do the same type of thing. And if they use Gemini, you can share it. You could do the same type of thing where all they have to do is click a link and it'll tell them if it's spam, not spam, something that's trying to take their money, et cetera, et cetera. So practical use of artificial
Wow.
intelligence.
Well, and practical use of AI for an older generation, no less.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you and I don't have to pull any punches. People from my age on up, even younger on up, are typically reluctant. Um, and from that first fight I had with the robot vacuum cleaner over a Cheeto, I was
Mm-hmm.
concerned about the robots taking over. I did win. I got the Cheeto, but no way that little bastard was going to keep me from
Mm-mm.
my tasty snack. But here's an opportunity, even more so than helping a Heckham consumer with the financial aspect of it. But what a great way to help an older population dip their toe in the AI waters.
Yep.
That is really cool stuff. Yeah. For those of you watching or listening, that's an enormous nugget. Something I hadn't even thought of. And while we're struggling, and this will be funny to those of you that are Gen X and beyond, like David and I are, um, we had to program our parents' VCRs. We had to
Mm-hmm.
do it. This is the modern day equivalent.
Yes.
So, in fact, I made that joke the other day, and I think it was Asher, who's 10 going on 11. Mine said, "What's a VCR?" Like, I'm so old. I'm so old.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, this is a really similar parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And what a great opportunity for them to start taking advantage, because the ones that are using it, probably like a lot of us that started, are treating it like a search engine.
Yes.
And you can, but that's not what it does.
Mm-mm.
And then there's also this huge segment of people, a lot of you in the loan origination space and a lot of you in the real estate agent space, that are creating problems you don't need for AI to solve.
Oh,
Instead
yes.
of using it to solve the problems you already have.
Mm-hmm.
And the brain power going out, the calories being burnt to create problems you don't have and didn't need in order for AI to solve them is such a waste.
The amount of I believe in learning AI, I believe you do have to have a tri-leg approach. You have to
Okay.
have first quarter for my team, first quarter every single day. Could we use AI for that? Could we use and like we use the Gemini one. We have a Gemini enterprise account. It's nice, it's safe and secure. We don't have to worry about our stuff going out.
We can share
So
content,
we can share content.
right?
So first quarter was could we use Gemini? And the other tool that we use quite a bit was Notebook LM.
Okay.
Notebook LM, again, consumer side, all your warranties, all your house maintenance, all your paint colors, all yours gets
Smart.
dumped in Notebook LM.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of
It
a
can create
juvenile version of what we should already have in place with all the blockchain technology that we've had. But why there's no Carfax for homes is still blowing
mm-hmm.
my mind. But yeah,
Yep.
every homeowner could build their own and
Yep.
probably
Absolutely.
use it on their own.
Yes.
I mean, I could
Yeah.
probably build my notebook just walking around the house and entering in, okay, this is the make and model of my fridge, my dishwasher, my oven, my water heater. Here's the sticker next to the garage door opener that says when it was installed, when it was serviced, those kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be building this on your own for every piece of real estate.
Yes.
Okay. Go
So
on. I love it.
so first quarter was just asking the question, could we, would we, how can we? Because you have to get used to opening up a page. Like you said, you have it open on your browser. That became a new browser tab for us. So first is to dedicate specific time. And there's some other tools that I use. I have a guy. We all have a guy, right?
I
I have
got a
a
guy.
guy on YouTube that gives practical, everyday blazing saddles, blazing zebra. Every week he gives a how to use AI, different engines in a practical manner. So that's the learning side of it. You got to do that. Then you just have to
Practical
do
meaning just like the American adult walking the earth kind of practical. It's good for everybody.
practical, as in he was an AI agency owner and he creates routines and AI bots and gyms and things of that on how to do business processes, how to do your marketing, how to do your, again, half of my gym ideas come from him. How to use a gym for, and gym is in particular to Gemini, but how to use a profile to go through a memory test on a daily basis and actually learn and exercise your brain in a fashion that makes it grow.
Love it. Okay.
So all sorts of,
And
because
hit us again. What is this guy going under? Blazing
blazing
zebra.
blazing zebra.
Okay.
I will come up with that just to make sure that I have that here. He has, so on YouTube, of course, Blazing Zebra. He has a lot of free stuff, and then he has a Patreon account, $5 a month or whatever it is. I find it very good. So yeah, he's talking about how to use Gemini 2.5 and Notebook LM, how to how to do a startup, how to use 10 cases with Notebook. Looking at here, how to use Opal, how to automate consulting, how to just all sorts of stuff in here. Just looking at it, but the point is I'm on purpose every week to understand what it can do because we don't know what we don't know. And somebody else has figured out something that's like, oh, cool, I can use that.
Yeah.
And easy process of doing it because we're Google people. I save it to keep with an AI tag.
Smart.
And then I can use Gemini to go pull my keep files that have an AI tag for me to look at on Saturday. I can use Gemini to review my emails from last week and identify consistent pain points and things that weren't addressed.
Ooh.
I can look at Gemini to look at my calendar for the next week, talk about things, look and pull in the different people because it can do the research on because there's an email address in there and give me a history of that. We write a lot of SOPs. I created a master SOP analyzer that looks at our SOPs and cross-checks them against other processes to make sure there's no conflict. The thing about the consistent about this, and to me, the secret sauce is I go into Gemini and I say, I would like to create a gym to do the following. And then I just start listing things. And then I hit return and it comes up with everything for me and I just paste it into the gym bot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
David, for our audience, David, just for reference, tell our audience how old you are.
64.
I'm going to pause on that long pause because nobody would think that. I mean, that we are taking advantage of so much technology, so much automation, so much
Mm-hmm.
systemization is absolutely out of this world. And I know the results for you have been ludicrous,
Mm-hmm.
like fourfold, fivefold when it came to actual results this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it just over the course of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about year over year. I mean, you guys have actually experienced 4x, 5x results doing this kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
just in the course of the 25 calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressive.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great team.
That
That's,
helps. Yeah.
we've talked about just for the Nuggets, and this. You probably know what I'm going to bring up. Strength Finders 2.0. Oh, which by the way, I loaded into my Notebook LM for everybody on my staff, and now I use that to know how to analyze who should do what task that brings them joy and happiness, and that they're actually efficient at.
And you don't want to do it.
And I don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Wow. David, you were actually listening.
I try.
That's crazy.
I try.
It's crazy. All right. Oh, I wish I had that from every one of our current and past coaching clients. I'm nagging you, Keith, if you're listening.
He does some pretty good things, but
Keith is amazing.
yeah, in today's world, if you're not setting aside some time to grow your business, grow your skill sets, AI
Skills.
is not going away. It's not going away. And you can be like, because I know she's not listening, maybe she will. You can be like a relative friend of mine who still uses a paper calendar and laughs and says, "Why can't people schedule things with me?" Or you can embrace technology, come into the current world, and actually bring some joy and freedom into your household. Because I'll tell you what, when you showed me your calendar for the first time, overwhelming. Couldn't imagine not having it on my. Everybody in my life now knows if it's not on David's calendar, don't count
It
on
ain't
it.
happening. Yep.
No,
That's not
no.
going to happen. And that obviously stretches well beyond business. I mean, I put things on there like to work out in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
to take the trash out on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
I even put the changing of the furnace filter
Mm-hmm.
in there
Now
every month,
I
right?
go one go further because I have the puck tell me on the first Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. to change the air filter.
Yeah, and I know it does. I don't know if I can change that setting or how I want it. And I'm probably overdoing it now with the serious decline of animals in my house. But it was every month like clockwork, because there were dogs and cats and,
Mm-hmm.
lots of potential allergens and, the hair flying around and so on and so forth. And I think I actually did our homeowner tip that we run through the HomeBot video distribution
Mm-hmm.
platform last week on, a couple of winter tips. Hey, your furnace is going to kick on and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to smell funky.
Mm-hmm.
It should be pretty brief, but change that filter, take a good look at it, see if you need to get it serviced, that sort of thing. And yeah, it's in my calendar too. Calendar management obviously is a big one.
Well,
There's
and by
no
putting
question.
it on the puck, I can delegate it to someone else in the house.
Oh, that's funny. No, I can't do that. And in your house, I know who the someone is.
Right,
And
right,
I know it
right.
ain't Rita.
Nope, nope, nope. It's not reading, but it's great because it could even address them by name and tell them that it's time to change the air filters for the month.
That's so funny.
And I don't have to worry about it. That's not what the human brain is. The human brain is meant to be creative. It's meant to come up with ideas. It's not meant to keep all these mundane tasks in
Tasks.
our brains.
Yeah. I think the quote I like most historically that way is I'm fairly certain it was Einstein. And he said, never remember anything you can look up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to waste the mental capacity for it.
No, and Sherlock Holmes said basically the same thing. Now that you've
Really.
told me that, I'll quickly forget it because it has no relevance to my life.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's certainly a lot of that. I may even be forgetting the occasional thing that does have relevance in my life. But neither here nor there. Do you want to talk about the Cardinals Now, how's that going?
Oh man, alive. It is good thing that I do other things during the game, but we are consistent. We have consistently lost the game by a nail biter for the last 5 games in a row.
Oh,
Not very
that's
many people can
great.
say that.
Uh,
Woohoo!
okay.
And our
Um,
and our substitute quarterback is taller than our main quarterback, and actually is doing fairly well.
I think your starting quarterback is probably happy to have the break and be able to play video games.
Yes,
All right.
yes. Well, that's
So
in his contract, only during breaks.
I know it's been a minute, but I did see a Cardinals game with you at State
Mm-hmm.
Farm is
Mm-hmm.
that in Tempe? No,
No, that was over in Glendale.
it's in
Booming
Glendale.
area. Booming
Yeah.
area.
Great building, very cool. Really, really enjoyed that tour. But yeah, there was obviously a lot of chatter that way. But yeah, I'm sorry, they're hovering down in the basement of your division there.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God I watch it for entertainment and blood pressure regulation. If I get too mellow, that's a great way to drop up or rise up the blood pressure
Okay.
because we
Yeah.
lose. It's
Well, I promise had you watched yesterday's Denver Broncos excursion,
mm-hmm.
um, starting the fourth quarter down to the lowly Giants 19-0,
Ooh.
and to win that game,
Mm-hmm.
scoring 33 points in the fourth quarter was a
Congratulations.
little rough on the old ticker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely something. I don't even know how to describe what forces were at hand for that to have occurred, but it was definitely highly entertaining. But yeah, I was really just giving you some flack and not trying to make you feel too bad about your Cardinals.
No, no. I'm very realistic. We doesn't look like we're going to do it this year.
All
It'll
right.
be interesting to see what I've already moved on to next year. I'm just
Yeah.
watching the games for fun. We're not going to do any recovering from this. No, we got some cultural issues that we got
Some
to solve.
cultural issues. All right.
Yeah.
Like having to play football in a closed off building because you have to run the damned air conditioner.
Right. Well,
It's too hot.
that would anything over 68 degrees is too hot for you. That high desert.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I sat out at the Bronco game yesterday and it was 78. So
Ooh.
yeah, it was a nice day
Yeah.
for football in the high desert.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah. All right. Well, David, thank you
Of
for doing
course.
the show again. In fact, before we get too far down the road, I'll book you into another episode in a time slot for next year because
Okay.
this is always a lot of fun.
Oh, I enjoy
And
it.
it's one of the few instances. It is an episode of the podcast, but it's one of the few instances where I actually get to nail you down for a half hour or so and just talk.
I will say that poor Jen's like, I have to go on the calendar. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You taught me, so my standard calendar appointment is only 15 minutes
Oh,
because I figured out if I put 15 minutes.davidwriter.com, I set the stage. If you don't put any
interesting.
time down, people will they'll just talk forever.
Well, that can be true of Heckham clients.
Oh, well, that's 2 hours.davidwriter.com. Oh, that's a given. So,
Yeah.
well, my friend, thank you very much. I enjoy it. Let's do it again.
Okay. And for those of you watching or listening live or in syndication, you can find new episodes live Mondays at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can catch that in syndication on the podcast on the following Wednesday, a mere 48 hours later on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. And for all things Just the Tips, go check out justthetipscoaching.com. There's all kinds of stuff in there when it comes to the video blog and maybe a few things I've written, a couple of books on the
A few
subject,
things.
a few things, that
A
kind of
few
thing.
things. Prolific
But
writer that you are.
well, I don't know about that, and it's been a minute, so haven't had a book published in, gosh, I don't know, a year or two now for sure.
Oh, poor
It's
baby. A
it's
year
been
or
a minute.
two.
Yeah.
Most people would be a decade. You're a year or two.
or
Get on
more.
the stick. Yeah, get on the
Or more.
stick.
We obviously run across a lot of people that haven't even considered the concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
All right.
And
So,
don't try to write it with AI, which I know you don't.
well, it didn't really exist.
Right. Yeah. Last time you did.
The last time I had anything published. But yeah, don't do that anyway.
Yeah.
That's
No.
part of that creative center that David was talking about. That's what your brain is for.
Yes.
The
Absolutely.
mundane is where you can really put AI to good use.
Yep.
Yeah, don't let it steal. Don't let AI steal your creativity. I think would be a good way to describe that. All right. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. David, love you. Thank you for doing it. We will talk shortly. I am going to run our extra. Don't go anywhere. We'll chat a few more minutes. For the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next week with a new episode of How I Met Your Mortgage, brought to you by Just the Tips Coaching.